Alright, so looking at normal mode Zuk in tier 90 equipment here this time. After some conversations, it sounds like tier 95 was not realistic, so I'm doing this in tier 90. Keep in mind that my tier 90 is not augmented, so I have no perks on my tier 90 gear. Essentially what that means is that I have no damage boosts at all. The only things I have is Equilibrium 4, Ruthless 3, which is a very inexpensive perk, and Precise 6 Genocidal, also very inexpensive. Both of these are like entry-level PVM perks that can be done with almost no GP. So that's all I have for perks this time. I did use Quarm Incense Sticks. I have my Blood Reaver summoned. I grabbed a Thermal Bath. And I grabbed a Bonfire. Got my Elder Overload, some Weapon Poison, some Vuln Bombs. I have runes for both the Prism of Restoration as well as Dish Shield. I've got my Super Restores, some Cerebrews, some Blubbers, and a Dren Pot, and then all my stuff to conjure my Familiars. So I'm going to Majorat here. You can use pretty well whatever aura you want. I don't really care. That's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to say no to continuing where I left off. And here we go. So we're going to Darkness, summon all of our guys.
What makes you think you have what it takes? Fight worm or crawl and die.
Alright, so everybody is healthy. All I'm going to do, I'm just using basics on these guys. Like, it does not matter what you're using. These first couple waves are completely irrelevant. They don't do any damage to you. I'm going to use my Soul Scythe here just in hopes of clearing these bats quickly so I don't run out of prayer. For all of these first waves, I prioritize anything that is not a melee ability to die first. So here, very first things that spawn are 2 Rangers. That should be Ranger 1 dead. Here is Ranger 2. Boom. Now I've just got nothing but melees left. Again, I can use things to kill these guys quicker if I want to, like Soul Scythe. I don't necessarily have to, but I definitely can. I'm going to use a Skulls here, I guess, just to help clear out both the bats as well as the big guy. So that should help. I'm also using Shards on Zuk in between waves. Alright, here there's going to be 4 big melee guys that spawn and 1 bat off the hop. And then there's going to be 2 Rangers. So like I said before, we have to prioritize the Rangers. They hurt the most. So we clear the Ranger. Now that I've got all these guys, I'm going to use Threads of Fate and just volley them. Too bad he died there. That didn't work super great. But okay, now they're all dead. Now I've got a Ranger and a melee left. Pretty straightforward yet again. Also, anytime I don't have a target is a very good time to re-summon my guys. My Reaver's dying here. So now that I don't have a target, I can summon these guys for free, which is really nice. On the Igneous waves, all we have to do is stun them using Soul Strike. That makes them take full damage. So I'm kind of just hanging out using Soul Strike to make sure that they can take all the damage that they can. Once again, Soul Striking, and I'm keeping all my other stacks built up for Zuk, just so I can kill him quick and easy. Doesn't look like I overloaded, so I'm going to overload here now too. Alright, so I've got most of my ghosties up. I'm going to just use the last one here, Life Transfer. I'll use Death Skulls and Volley. That should be plenty. Now I'm just going to sit here. So just building some stacks up again so I can Threads of Fate for this this challenge. So here we go. We Threads of Fate, we Volley, and then we Finger. Dead. Now I'm going to hang out up here in this northwest corner. That way Jad can't get to me. These are the range-based waves starting, so what we want to do is we want to be praying range, and anything that's not a ranger, we try to prioritize. If you'll notice here, almost everything that spawned around me is range. There's a couple of bats that are spawning to the south. We'll worry about those as soon as they get a little bit closer. Just like before, like the other waves, we want to prioritize anything that's not the predominant style of that wave. So I've got a couple of melee enemies, and I've got these bats. They need to be my priority. As soon as those prioritized enemies are cleared, then we just clear whatever's closest. And you'll notice that Jad got lured nicely because I was using this northwest safe spot, so really helpful there. So I'm really just taking my time here, honestly. Like, there's no rush. I'm just clearing the bat now that he's next up on the list. I'm going to summon all my guys again. And like, as you can see, I'm taking this nice and slow. Now I can start fighting Jad. And all I'm going to do is Prey Flick Jad while doing my thing. Nice and quick and easy. Back up to that northwest corner. So like I said, these are range-based waves. That means that anything that's not a ranger has to be my priority. So now I've got 2 bats and a mage that spawned up top. So I'm going to clear those out. Now I've got nothing but rangers on me. So now I'm actually able to prey against things. These big rangers I like to prioritize over the little guys. They do way more damage. So again, I'm going to just use like a Death Skulls here just to kind of help clear things out a little quicker. I could just stand there and AFK, it doesn't really matter, but I'm just picking whatever's closest to me and trying to kill it quickly. And then there's just one melee guy that's hanging out down below here. I mean, I could use Soul Strike on him to stun him there if I really needed some HP. It doesn't really matter. And I'm also noticing that my familiar is getting a little bit low. So I'm going to get back up here, drop a prism. That'll keep him nice and healthy. And just like before, I'm trying to clear anything that's not a ranger, because these range-based waves mean that there's almost entirely rangers that are spawned. So, if you'll notice, tons of rangers kicking around, but nothing else is attacking me with any other combat style. So if I were to Devotion right now, for example, now I'm just not going to take any damage. I'm going to use Threads of Fate here, and then just pop a Soul Strike on those guys, and maybe a Finger on these guys. Didn't quite kill them with the tier 90 set, but tons of damage taken off of them. If you'll notice, I'm still under Devotion. Like, my Devotion is still just chugging right along, keeping me nice and healthy. Mostly just AFKing, hanging out with this guy. He's got lots of stacks, so he's actually pretty strong right now, but it doesn't super matter. These melee guys like to get stuck on these corners, which is also really helpful for clearing them. Gonna kill him. Now I'm just summoning my guys for free. Now we have the challenged wave of the range section. So what we have to do full damage here is we have to use a threshold. So I use Bloat a lot of the time. It's this green looking one. It's nice and easy. It only takes 20% adrenaline, and that way I don't use up all my soul stacks or my finger stacks. Then I still have those to be able to help clear Zuk. Now I'm just going to run down south here, use Bloat on the third guy. They always spawn in the same 3 locations. But notice that he's just taller than the other guys. That's why we kill him instead of the other ones. So just like before, we're using the Zuk button to clear him. All I'm using is Death Skulls, and I'm not even going to volley here. I'm just going to Death Skulls and Finger, and then basics. And that was plenty to clear. I'm going to use my Prism again because my guy's a little low. All I'm going to do here is throw a Vuln Bomb at him, I'll volley, and if I have to, I'll Finger. Maybe I'll Death Guard spec, which is the tier 90 spec. I don't know if I needed to, but I did. Alright, for Jad waves from here on out, I always come to this southeast corner. It's just nice. If you hang out way close to the wall here, it just lets the Jads get lured very nicely, so you only have to deal with them one at a time. But these are now mage-based waves. What that means is that, just like before, anything that is not a mage enemy is what we want to prioritize. So if you'll notice here, I killed that little bat that was hanging out, being careful not to unlure the Jad. And once he was cleared, all I'm doing is killing all the mages. Once my mage buddies are cleared and good to go, I can use my Extendo familiar button. My overload's about to run out. I didn't drink my weapon poison apparently, so I'm going to drink that as well. Alright, so Jad's cleared. I think there's a mage enemy underneath him, but I don't know. Maybe there isn't. Maybe he died too. Alright, back onto Jad. Slams the ground, that means range. If he lifts up in the air, that means mage. And we just keep clearing. Nice and easy. I'm going to attack Zuk again, throw a shard.
Show me you are
So now, like I said, we're into the mage base waves. That means that anytime there is a non-mage enemy, it has to be the priority. So if you'll notice, there was a bat that spawned, and it was followed by 2 rangers. I am now praying mage because most of the things attacking me are mage enemies. So I just I got myself to a point where I killed all the rangers. And now I'm killing all the mages. It can be important to note that one of the things I really like to do is I kind of front load these waves for my DPS. I do anything that's going to do a ton of damage to the guys that are hurting me the most. So, like if I have a bunch of mages attacking me and there's a ranger beating me up, I would prioritize using like all of my strong abilities before the ranger kills me. Like that's kind of just the common sense of it. So, like here I can just hang out and AFK if I really want to. I think we have one more mage base wave. Yep. So, ranger spawned. I'm going to clear him nice and quick. Boom. Done. Now, everything that's going to spawn up north here should be a mage. So I'm just going to kill all of the mages. Nice and quick. So I used a death skulls there. It's just bouncing all around nicely between everybody. There is another ranger that spawned at the bottom, and I probably should have cleared this guy before I wiggled that ranger out, but I think I'll be okay either way. It's probably not the end of the world. These guys were mostly dead anyway. I did freedom there because I had a bleed stack on me. I'll show you what the bleed stack looks like once I get another bleed stack on me in just a second when I get down south. One sec. This right here, this burn stack here, that is basically like damage over time. So we just want to make sure we freedom that. Alright, now we're into the mage challenge wave. All of these guys, you just have to stand inside their bubble, and then it'll pop their bubble, then you can do full damage. Nice and easy. I wouldn't stress about it. Everything that spawned in this wave is mage, so if you need to, use a devotion, eat some food, like it's no big. These waves are all about positioning and just clearing whatever's doing the most damage to you. And typically speaking, that's just whatever you can't pray against. If you can't pray against the ranger because there's 5 mages hitting you, it probably means that you should be killing the ranger and praying mage. I re-darknessed there because darkness does a ton of work for us. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Death Skulls, command my guy, and then I'm going to try and build as fast as I can to 100% adrenaline. So I'm just using basics, because I'm going to need 100% here to deal with this challenge safely. So as soon as this guy attacks, I'm going to resonance. As soon as the next guy attacks, I'm going to use disruption shield. And now I'm going to barricade. Now I'm just hanging out. I mean, I can attack these guys to gain some adrenaline if I want to, but we're back to the safe spot. Every time, as soon as that wave ends. I'm going to just re-ghosty ghoulie and stuff, and this only one Jad is able to attack me, which is perfect. It just means I don't have to stress about flicking multiple Jad attacks, and I can just kill them one at a time. So first one is dead because I was in that nice safe spot. Now we're on to the second one. Not doing anything special here. And on to Jad number 3. So I am just going to go nice and slow for this Jad. I want to make sure I have full stacks of everything here. It's going to help me a ton for Harakan. What I'll also do is I'm going to take off my lantern and put it back on. That way I can summon all of my familiars again. I also only have 1 minute left on my overload, and I don't want that running out in the next couple minutes here, so I'm going to just use that. Throw another shard on Zuck, maybe? I don't know. Alright, now that he's dead, I'm going to use some conjures, get everybody up and running. Alright, Harakan's up. I did use Split Soul there, which lets me do a little extra damage. Now I'm just watching for the big rock thing, like the flaming balls that come out of the ground. Yeah, those. And then I just walk away. Now I'm just kind of killing Harakan. I used all of my stored up damage potential. So I used a Skulls, I used a Volley, I used my tier 90 spec. Now I'm just building to 100%. And I can like Vuln Zuk before he gets attackable here. Now I'm going to come hang out in the middle, pop my prism so my guy doesn't die. I'm going to use my ultimate, drink an Adren pot, finger, skulls, anything I can to just do as much damage as possible to him. Like I can use my 3 stacks up here. As soon as he says burn, this is a good time to use freedom if you're taking too much damage, or you can just start spam eating. I like to just spam eat through this. When he's going to slam the ground here, that's my cue to surge. He's about to do it. There it is, so now I'm going to surge. Next thing he's going to do is an insta-kill. So all I'm doing is using finger over and over again when I have 6 stacks and getting ready for this insta-kill. You can res this, or you can dish shield. And now, as soon as he says the next voice line, I'm going to anticipate so he doesn't stun me. If you don't get it, you can always freedom afterwards. So now, we're going to surge over to the free area of pizza. We're going to stun the melee guy just like always. Clear him quick. This is a good time to resummon your familiars. So it's always directly across and then counterclockwise one segment of the pizza, by the way. So this one will be across and one over, so it'll be right up by the throne, essentially.
Rise, Mage of Embers.
Alright, so just doing the same thing, clearing them all the same way I always would if I was doing the waves. Maybe I could re-prism here to make sure my guy doesn't die. I'm going to target Zuk, push the extra action button. I can reuse my ultimate. I don't think I can re-overload yet, so I'm just going to keep hanging out. Like, this might be a good time to use my volley. And I'll just eat some food, no big deal. I'm going to use Death Skulls now that it's off cooldown. I can finger a couple times. I can recommand my ghost. I can spam eat if I need to. Like, it's all good.
After thousands of years.
I mean, so I ate 2 full blubbers and 1 Sarah Brew flask during the Zuk fight. And that was just because I didn't want to deal with the mechanics. I just kind of hung out. Ooh, we got a Chaos Die reroll. Cool. Anyways, I hope that was helpful. So you don't need any sort of amazing expensive equipment to do this fight. It's really all about positioning. Don't sweat it. Just watch the video a couple times and practice. Practice is going to do more than absolutely anything else. Remember, northwest safe spot, unless it's the Jad waves at the end, the last 2 Jad waves. Okay, good luck.